All right, thank you for your patience, everyone. We're going to get started. We wanted to let you know that this is being recorded so that we can share this with the communications email thread that we have started. If you are just joining, please put your email address in the chat so that we can add you to that thread if you are not already on that list. We'd like everyone to please mute their microphones and ask to wait for questions until the end so that we can have our representatives from both Sewage and Water Board and Entergy Gas and Electric be able to answer questions accordingly. All right, and Joel?
All right, everybody, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Joel Galatis. I'm with the Sewage and Water Board. I'm the construction manager for this project. So for those of you who aren't familiar, you've probably seen a bunch of these transmission mains that are being replaced. If you look at the picture on the screen right now, that's one of them. Transmission main is basically just a much bigger line that runs water to smaller neighborhoods, okay? So this particular project will be replacing 4 blocks of water, in the French Quarter limits. So on this next screen, we're showing and outlining exactly what is going to be worked on this block. So for this project, we're going to be replacing water, sewer, and drain, as well as obviously a new street. Okay. Go next. So looking at the proposed traffic control plan. This is just tentative. This is not the official one as of yet. It's not official until our traffic engineer fully approves it. It's going just like any traffic control plan with this type of project, it's going to be pretty fluid. Well, just give us a second. There we go.
1 second, everyone.
I'm sorry, I don't see any of your presentation at all.
Okay, but we're just grabbing the control bag, sorry.
We failed to accomplish our goals. Even failure, it's a little less than You're the one who stole the long secret formula. You stole it with 2 bottles. Yeah, of course you did it. But you got caught passing for free.
So sorry about that, everyone. All right, can you hear us now?
And can you see us?
I can hear you fine, but I can't see you. I can only see one of the members in the audience.
Are you muted or?
We can see your content now. There you go.
Can y'all see the traffic control now?
Yes.
No, we cannot. I cannot.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yep, see it.
Okay. So like I was saying, the way it works with any project of this magnitude, the traffic control plan will have to be a little bit more fluid. because of just as the scope of construction moves throughout the project, things will have to be changed and altered, obviously, as construction evolves. Okay. So this is our tentative plan as of now. Like I said, it will change throughout the project duration. But there's a lot of things that we have already taken into consideration, including trash collection, including mail. All of these things have been taken into account already. And any changes to the traffic control plan will have that in mind as well. Okay. So next slide. So a little bit about Entergy, gas, and electric. I'm not going to speak for them because they are here right now. So I'm going to start it off with Entergy Electric. So Walter, you're going to take
Yes,
it.
so,
All right.
how you doing, folks? My name is Walter Maples. I'm the customer service manager for Entergy New Orleans. I manage the water board. I will be, your contact for any questions or concerns throughout the course of the project. As those arise, hopefully there aren't too many. So with that, you can see here, we have, two entities involved, the Entergy Electric and Gas. We have upgrades to our utilities within the project set to begin here as soon as possible. We do not currently have a start date due to permit pending. We are waiting on levy permits as well as street cut permits, and also for our traffic control plan to be approved with DPW. So with that, there will be street closures involved with this. We'll have more details as that traffic control plan comes out. At the end of each workday, we will be sure to, cover any work that has been taking place, make it safe, to where the public can continue on with their activities as need be. Go ahead.
Should mention hybrid.
So with that, I will pass it off to Dwayne Camp for Entergy Gas, if he has anything to add.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Dwayne with Entergy Gas. I will be point of contact on the project. We are looking to start in the 600 block of St. Peter on no later than Monday, the 17th. And then the 900 block of Decatur, we're going to move to once the river level drops, hopefully around the same time. But like the electric side, we are still waiting on a traffic control plan and some approvals from the city. Thank you.
Yeah, just to add to that, the levy permitting, that is something that's kind of outside of our control, that has to do with the water levels, weather, everything up north melting, coming downhill. So, yeah, we are waiting on that approval to proceed, and we'll have a start date here soon.
All right, everybody. So just to kind of give you a little bit an idea of what our timeline is looking like. So as Walter and Dwayne eloquently said earlier, they have their scope and their sequencing of construction that's going to proceed before us. And the goal for this whole project was to get all these entities together to only have one major project instead of multiple. Okay. So the first phase of this as of now is St. Peter's, Royal to Charters, and then Decatur, Dumaine to St. Philip. Once that phase is complete, we're going to move to the second block of Decatur and then to the third block of Decatur. Now, timeline for this is about 12 months for the entire completion of the project. The contractor is Rubion Roads and Streets, and we also have a representative from Rubion on the line as well. Michael, would you like to introduce yourself?
I think Michael might be having some technical
That's right.
issues because it just said he left the conversation.
Okay, he may be having technical difficulties. Okay, well, never mind then. Okay. Okay, so what are you gonna have to prepare for? That's the main concern I know we get asked all the time. So water service interruptions. So I'm sure everyone is aware of excessive construction throughout the city. Now, what we're doing a little bit differently on this project is we're going to have what's called a bypass line. So water will literally be running due to the space issues that we have in the French Quarter, we have to remove and replace in the same location. So we're going to be running off of a temporary bypass line so that your water is not interrupted at any point. The only time that you will have any type of water interruptions are during tie-in days. And when those days arrive, you will be notified well in advance to prepare accordingly. I don't fully anticipate much of an impact to that for you, more than a couple hours, if not less than that, because of the bypass line. Okay. Because once it's tied in, all we're going to be doing is changing your house connections, and that can vary between 30 minutes to an hour. Okay. As far as vibrations, obviously we're in a historical area, so that is of utmost importance as well. We have that throughout the project, and they're also conducting all of their data in the coming weeks to have kind of a baseline for everything. Okay. We also have a private archaeologist on staff throughout the project, as well as as the vibration monitoring that I discussed in the previous slide. Now, vehicular and foot traffic, like we kind of talked about on one of the first slides, we're going to have signage for detours. When Entergy Gas and Entergy Electric are going before us, they will have their own signage as well. Dwayne, do you want to talk about your detours for St. Peter and how you plan on doing that?
Yes, sir. We're going to be doing some work in the intersection of Charters and St. Peter's. So we will be blocking St. Peter's off during the day at, I believe it's Madison. And then when we're finished for the day, we will reopen a travel lane on that section of Charters and St. Peter's, so evening traffic can get through.
When Entergy Gas is done on St. Peter, Sewage and Water Board via Rubion will come through and start work. At that point, it will be a full closure until work is complete. We will be working in the streets. Sidewalks will remain passable. When the street is completed, we're going to open the street, and we'll have where the tie-ins for water, sewer are located. That part of the sidewalk will be obstructed, but that part will be known ahead of time. And that area will be worked around if it's a residence or a business. Okay. All right. So a little bit about the communication efforts that we have. So obviously a bunch of you received this notice already. I probably spoke with some of you already as well. We do have non-working days for Crescent City Classic, French Quarter Festival, Tajmo Fest, Jazz Fest. We have these days. All these things are outlined as no work days. Now, let me be clear. The no work days do not mean that the street will be open. It just means we will not have contractors present during those days. The street will remain closed until the project is completed, okay? Or until that block is completed. We have community outreach efforts. Obviously, like I said, you received this notice. We'll be in touch. That's why Alice was asking for your email address. Again, if you're late to this meeting, please make sure your email address is in the chat so you can be added to the list. Alice and I have already discussed that we will be doing a newsletter and update to these email addresses so everyone is up to date about any project updates or delays or advancements, any type of project updates. Okay. So for any SWBNO related questions, you can see the email at outreach@swbno.org. For all Entergy Gas questions, you can reach out to Dwayne Camp. He loves to answer emails. And for Entergy Electric questions, you can reach out to Walter Maples, who also loves to answer emails. So for now, we'll open it up to questions.
We're gonna read the questions out from the chat. So if anybody has a question, please type it in the chat. And if you do not have the chat feature, please let us know after we go through these questions so that we can try to stay on track with timing. One of the questions was, And I apologize, my screen is on my phone. Stop sharing. Okay, what about pedestrian foot traffic? I'm not sharing it on my screen.
Oh, okay.
What about pedestrian foot traffic?
Well, what exactly would you like, William, are you asking about pedestrian foot traffic?
The IRS is cracking down by sending out collection letters, garnishing paychecks.
Where do I type here?
Homes and businesses.
Okay, William, if you could please type in the chat a specific question about foot traffic. Our plan is that if the street is blocked, that we will have sidewalks open so that pedestrians can get through. And I will also be sending out this slide to everyone, this presentation to everyone that's on the email list. So even if you could not see the slide well enough, I will be sending that to everyone shortly, including everyone here. So if you could, again, just keep asking your questions in the chat so that we can go through them one at a time. One of the other questions was, when will Entergy begin on Dumaine, or is it waiting on levy permitting? I believe we discussed we are still waiting on the levy permitting. Okay. William again asked a more specific, okay, French Quarter Festival, how is that going to be addressed with pedestrian foot traffic?
So, William, to answer your question, for that, that's going to be the same as Crescent City Classic and all the other events that we have outlined already. The site will still be closed, so it will be fenced off, but there will not be active work at that time.
Oh, everyone, just a reminder, please mute your microphones. I can do that and we'll do that if I need to, but we just want to make sure everyone can hear us, okay? So William, if you have any additional questions about that, please let us know. Also, we understand French Quarter Festival is a little different, being that there's so many people, and we can share your contact information with Entergy if they're starting ahead of us. An additional question was about not being able to see the traffic pattern slide well enough to figure out what will happen at Governor Nichols and Decatur Street with garbage pickup and deliveries. Will this be during the entire project or just in phase 3? There's a concern about additional commercial traffic on her block.
Her name's Angela. Angela, so yes, as of now, the tentative plan is to close Decatur from Esplanade to Dumaine. So I'm assuming you live somewhere on Decatur. So having said that, like I said, it's going to be a fluid situation. The traffic control plan will change. Garbage deliveries will have to change as construction moves along towards Esplanade. There's not a blanket way of us being able to handle traffic as construction is in different phases. So, but if you're talking about the Governor Nichols and Decatur, we're still trying to figure out exactly how we're going to do that. We're thinking of a consolidated area where everyone drops their trash off, and that's where the trash collection happens. We're still working out the details of that with sanitation as well. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, if you have any additional questions about that, please just mention it in the chat below. The other question is Entergy work scheduled for Monday through Friday, or will they be working on weekends?
This is Dwayne with the Energy Gas Department. As of right now, we plan on working Monday through Friday for the gas work.
Thank you. And Entergy Electric, do we have?
6 days a week. We'll do 6 days a week.
It is likely, it's still being finalized and discussed, but 6 days a week is what they are currently aiming for. And then someone else asked, does that workday end at 5?
For the gas department, yes. Or before.
We'll follow the same schedule as gas.
And we did talk about coupling things up and making it safe at the end of the day.
Yeah, so we will still do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And part of Entergy's agreement with SWBNO was if extra time had to be happening to make sure the project remains on time, Entergy Electric is prepared for additional hours so we don't have any delays.
Correct.
Energy Gas is also committed to that. Hopefully, we proceed on our timeline.
Thank you, Dwayne. All right, and so Alex, you asked if there's a map displaying how traffic will be directed to be shared. So we are still finalizing our traffic control plan with DPW on the sewage and water board side. And Entergy is also still waiting for permits to be approved and their traffic control plan to be finalized. And yes, we will share that with you once made available to us. Alrighty, the other question is that you own a bar in the 500 block of Dumaine Street. You're wondering how delivery and trash pickups will work for people needing to come up to Main Street.
So that's going to be, Conrad, that's going to be the same answer as the previous one, Governor Nichols and Decatur. We're still trying to finalize exactly where the trash collection is going to come up. But what we're thinking for right now is a consolidated area for each block, where you'll drop it off on your particular collection day, and the trash collection will happen at that location. And DS Cooper, I also see your question about will the workday end at 5? Probably not. Okay, we're probably going to push for longer days to get out of there as quickly as we can. As far as exactly the time that we're going to end, we're still trying to see how much this river level affects us, if anything. We don't want this to drag on any more than you do. So if that requires us to have some extra late days, Sewage and Water Board, Energy Gas, and Energy Electric are all committed to maintaining a schedule and getting out of there as fast as we can.
It says, when you say closed, does that mean fence walls like will be built on the curbs like on the Bourbon Street project?
Andy, yes, that is exactly what it's going to be like. We're also prepared to add lighting if there's any issues with that as well. NOPD is also looped in as well in case we should have any lighting issues, any dark areas at any part in the project.
Okay. How will you keep commercial traffic from traveling up Barracks when they realize Decatur is closed?
Signage and barricades.
Okay. Interested to know about the archaeologist that's been hired. Who is it and what will they be doing? Just on call or something more active than that?
More active than that.
Someone asked, how can I get added to the email list? Please type your email in the chat so that I can add you to the email list accordingly and share with Entergy, Gas, and Electric. Okay. Someone else said that they already have an issue with oversized vehicles entering the French Quarter. Is mitigating this issue part of the traffic plan?
Michael, absolutely. That's actually why we're wanting to cut off the traffic at Esplanade, even though we are only going to Governor Nichols. We didn't want the oversized vehicles trying to make a turn, a 90-degree turn at that intersection, and then trying to navigate a much smaller intersection further down. So yes, that's exactly why the traffic control plan is kind of what it is.
St. Patrick's Day Parade is scheduled for the evening of March 17th to come down Frenchman and Decatur before crossing Canal Street. Will there be any impact to that event? We'll be working. No, as we will not for this, not for March 17th, 2025. There can and may be potential impacts for next year in 2026. The work is not scheduled to start as of now. Okay, the additional question was, is my water pressure going to improve?
So we spoke to someone at a meeting about this. To be honest with you, I didn't. There's a couple residents that have told us they had lower water pressure. Walter, if you can send an email to outreach@swbno.org, I would actually like to hear more about your issue before I can give you an answer. But you shouldn't have an issue to begin with. So if you please would send an email to outreach@swbno.org and give us as much detail as you can, I'd love to look into that for you.
Okay. Where will detour street signs be located and how will that be communicated that these streets are closed to the traffic? On the Sewage and Water Board side, once the traffic control plan is approved, we will be posting a traffic advisory that we will ask our partners with the city as well to amplify for us so that we can get the messaging out to the public. And I will also be sharing that with the email thread. As far as Entergy's closures, I will let them speak to that.
Yeah, once we have our plan in place and it's approved, we'll share that with you guys. You could do as much as overlay with your maps here, as well as we'll provide more details.
Okay. Alrighty, who is the contact for Entergy Electric? His name is Walter Maples, and his email address is in the presentation that I am going to send everyone. It is wmaples@entergy.com. But if you'd like to be on the list, if you're not already, please put your email address down so that I can get to you with the presentation from today. Someone said trash pickup is every day for my bar. I would appreciate being looped in on the decision making because I believe I can provide some insight. Most restaurants have 2 to 6 cans being picked up every morning. Okay, Conrad, please make sure we have your email address. I believe I do. Yes, I do have your email address so that we can make sure we communicate that with you as well. How do the supply purveyors do their deliveries to businesses on Decatur Street?
Charlie, that's something they're gonna have to do from across street. Right now, what we're thinking is, South Peters and walking it, like that half a block. Again, this is a very fluid situation, so it depends on where work is going on and what the scope is. Okay, obviously, Entergy Electric is working on a manhole, so that's gonna change the delivery routing versus when Sewage and Water Board and Rubicon Construction comes in and starts ripping up for water, sewer, and drain. So I wish I could give you a more detailed answer. All I can tell you is that it will be taken into account with every scope of every change to our construction schedule. Okay.
Okay, the next question is what streets/blocks will all of the vehicles and equipment be staged and stored during construction?
They will not be storing or staging on the streets. They will be doing that likely in a parking lot off-site. Is Michael Soft back in or no?
I do not know.
Okay. That's still finalized. Oh, hi, Michael. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Michael Asaf with Rubicon Construction. Michael, do you have a final staging area yet or no?
We are in the process of finalizing it. It's going to be somewhere around Mandeville Street, but we are in the process of finalizing it.
Okay. Thank you, Michael.
Okay. The information about the archaeologist is not confidential. Wants additional information on what their roles and responsibilities are, and is it a firm or a freelancer? And it isn't, you are correct, it is absolutely a historic neighborhood. So
it is a firm. Right now we're going through GIA. As far as who the archaeologists that will be assigned to that has not been determined as of yet. Actually, Dean, do you have any update in the last day or two that I don't know about, just to confirm? Dean, are you there? I see you're. There you are.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, she says she has somebody on another job. She hasn't given me the resume yet. I'm still trying to get it as of today. I put her in on the loop with you and Entergy Gas so she could start talking directly to all of us. Hopefully we'll get something soon in terms of a resume and a person's name.
Okay.
For your approval, of course.
Correct.
thank you. What is the process for getting the traffic plan approved? Will there be further information? I'm assuming is what you were.
Sean, that goes through DPW traffic. Same people that Entergy Electric and Entergy Gas are going through as well.
Is there a sanitation plan for those sidewalks daily? Those sidewalks become tunnels that become heavily trashed, as well as unofficial bathrooms.
That's going to be a tough one. That's something we're gonna have to talk with the city about. That is partly why we want to get out, in particular of St. Peter, as quickly as we can, for that exact reason. And I mean, we all know the sidewalks are narrow to begin with, so that makes it even more limited.
Okay, the next question is about deliveries to their home. How would you be able to get deliveries such as Chinese food delivered to your home? The sidewalks will be open, right, to
The
pedestrians?
sidewalks will remain open, so the delivery driver will probably have to walk from the nearest intersection.
I'm sorry, can y'all hear us? We were told that we were cutting in and out.
I see a thumbs up.
No,
Okay.
you're fine.
Nope, not cutting in and out.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All
Sounds
right,
good.
perfect. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Is there going to be a large privacy fence put up on the work site like there was on Bourbon?
Yes.
Yes, that will be the case.
And like I said before, it will be covered with proper dust mitigation as well. And we're eliminating trip hazards, and we have lighting if that should be an issue. I don't anticipate needing the lighting, given the fact of where the light posts are located, but it is there if it becomes an issue. Sidewalk sanitation was a huge problem on Conti and Bourbon. Yeah, I that's where the city has. We need to have a conversation with the city on how they want to do that. The fencing that's in place is the fencing that is an improvement from what was on Bourbon Phase 1. It was more Bourbon Phase 2 and Conti Street.
Okay, does anyone else have any additional questions?
Sean, no, to answer your question.
Okay, if anyone else has additional questions, can you please continue to put them in the chat or email us if you do not have the time right now to go ahead and get more feedback from our teams respectively? William, we see that you are concerned about things that are left unresolved. Please keep in mind that permits have not been approved yet, so work is not starting next week. On the Sewage and Water Board side, our work is not scheduled to start until May 2025. So we understand that there are still some things that are not being resolved, but also the traffic control plans and permits have to go through the proper processes of approval and review before we can start. And that includes Entergy's work as well. Entergy is not starting as of next week until permits are approved. So additional information will be provided by Entergy once it is received. Gregory, your question is, does the Army Corps have oversight given the rising river?
Yes, that's who has the authority for the permit and any waivers. The silver lining to that, Gregory, is that the river level appears to be dropping, and all forecasts have it dropping below 11 feet within a week. So all numbers and projections look pretty good on that.
All right. Does anyone else have any final remaining questions? Again, I am going to be sending this out by the end of the day tomorrow so that you can have a copy of the information, which also includes the best way to reach out to us as well, so that you can stay updated. If you talk to anyone that has missed this presentation and is interested in it, please have them email outreach@swbno.org. I'll add you to our list, and then I'll also share that information with Entergy so that they have your contact information to keep up as well. All right, everyone. Well, if you don't have any additional questions, we just want to thank you so much for spending the time with us and checking in after Mardi Gras. We know it's been a long week. Thank you, and we will send this out at the end of the day tomorrow. Have a great night.